technicians will give you an honest assessment, and we won't fix what's not broken. So before you say yes to costly repairs elsewhere, get a second opinion at AAMCO. That's AA MCO. Transmissions and a whole lot more.
Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, sports, talk, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640, Conway Show. We start with Petros Papadakis. How are you, buddy? Come on, don't be a coward.
Well, we're in a break right now.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I would encourage you to jump over to AM 570. You know what I got coming up in the next segment?
Yeah, what do you got coming
High school
up?
basketball.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Is that a big guy? What is that?
No, look, I just said
Is that segment called Who Really Cares?
Yeah. That's only Kate's Cares. That was last segment. We just did that last segment. All right. No, but everything's all right. I see you watching the Kobe Bryant
we're going to turn the volume up here. Kobe Bryant's getting a statue.
Yes.
Well-deserved, obviously.
Oh, of course.
And where's it going to be? Right out in front?
I don't know. There's a big tent out there. And
now, who's speaking? You would know these guys.
Did get a bit shorter this past week by 9,000 to 218,000. Mortgage rates held steady. Wholesale inventories in the U.S. rose by just about 0.5% in December. We see shares of Under Armour moving slightly higher after that apparel company reported third quarter profits that beat analysts' expectations. New York Community Bank Corp, which has been in the spotlight lately, pulling back another 6.5% today after an analyst downgraded the stock on concerns that depositors might start to flee, given the concerns there in the commercial real estate world and other factors. Spirit Airlines shares moving higher today by about 3%. That company posted a slimmer than expected loss in the latest quarter. And Wynn Resorts, the Vegas casino giant, moving up more than 6%, hitting the jackpot today after the company posted fourth quarter adjusted earnings that beat analysts' expectations. The price of oil moving higher again today. Looks like it's hit a new high for the year, above $76 a barrel in New York. More heartbreak amid the rising tensions in the Secretary of State Blinken leaving the Middle East after the U.S. and Israel spiked the latest hostage deal proposed by Hamas yesterday. According to Fox News, Blinken spent the better part of the past week negotiating with Israel, Egypt, Qatar, and Hamas over a potential hostage release deal. No deal. Proposal sent over by Hamas contained items that Israel and the U.S. deemed unrealistic, and Blinken is now departing with little progress being made on that issue. All this a day after a senior commander of an Iran-backed militia was killed by a U.S. drone strike in Baghdad. In Washington, hot drama there with the U.S. Supreme Court hearing arguments on whether President Trump can be disqualified from running for president. Justices sounding broadly skeptical of efforts to kick the former president off the 2024 presidential election ballot. We'll get expert opinion here on that coming up in just a moment. The justices spent a lot of time during the 90-minute hearing on whether the January 6th incident was indeed an insurrection. Meanwhile, a big lawsuit filed today involving a soap opera star suing a production company and two company executives over alleged sexual harassment, discrimination, retaliation, and wrongful termination. The lawsuit involves actress Ariana Zucker, who played Nicole Walker on the long-running NBC soap opera Days of Our Lives. I'll discuss
Days
that case tonight with prominent Los Angeles attorney Anahita Setigodfar, attorney and legal commentator on the major networks and right here on 790 KBC. But first, on your money, the markets, the economy, what happened today in Washington, and the whole works. Joining us live now, the one and only Ben Stein for our occasional Frank and Stein conversation, live right here on 790 KBC. Ben Stein, financial and political commentator, author of numerous books, an actor, too, who played basically himself as the economics professor in the movie you all know, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and one of the most famous scenes in American cinema. Ben Stein, thank you very much for taking the call here this afternoon.
My great pleasure, sir. Always a pleasure.
If you can put your attorney hat on, and you're also an attorney here, and I know you were covering and listening to the Supreme Court proceedings today. Give us your reaction, first of all, to what happened there.
I thought that the justices handled themselves quite well. I was happy to hear that they saw to the essence of the problems. One, this thing that happened January 6th was by no stretch of the imagination insurrection. It would be no more of an insurrection than a Sunday prayer service would have been. That's calling it an insurrection. It's just a total joke. It was an insult to the intelligence of the leaders and the listeners and the justices. The insurrection language in the 14th Amendment was intended to apply to the Civil War, which was a war under 800,000 roughly
not taking that
violent battle. Nothing like what happened in January 6th. In which one person got killed. It was a Capitol policeman. The circumstances are somewhat unclear, but it was nothing like an insurrection. It was an insult to the intelligence, as they say, of Americans to call it an insurrection. Second, Trump had nothing to do with it. In any event, Trump gave a speech, and I seem to be the only person in the world who actually spent a few hours reading and then rereading the speech.
Build your butt liquor.
Trump not only said, I don't want you to use violence, he said, if you're going up there with a view towards even threatening violence in my name, don't go. I don't want anything like violence in my name. And he said, we think we have spotted some very serious statistical errors in the calculation of the votes. We'd like you to emphasize that when you're talking about it. Nothing about firearms, nothing about knives, nothing about guns. This is not an insurrection. And the idea that the justices in Colorado brought it up as such is frightening that the justices in a great state like Colorado would get it so wrong.
But every write-up I've seen indicated the justices appear to be skeptical of this argument today. When are we expecting a ruling, and what do you expect to be the outcome of this?
I think the ruling will come pretty soon because after all,
Now we get
we're
to go
already
catch up to him.
getting close, fairly close,
Now
in mid-February, and the election is this year. We've got to get some action to get on the ballot
up there.
or not on the ballot.
You can't catch up to him. Got to catch up to him. Shut up.
The Constitution of the U.S. and flush it down the toilet. This was in no sense
Well, didn't
an
you make the
insurrection.
light green or
It had
something?
nothing to do with the 14th Amendment at all. And let's just say some very poorly educated justices in a beautiful, beautiful state of Colorado, where my wife and I used to live, got very badly off track, and let's hope they can get back on the track.
On there live with the one and only Ben Stein for our Frank and Stein conversation here, and certainly a lot riding on this for the economy as well. It should be noted, I remember the market turned around late last year when that poll found President Trump would beat President Biden in a head-to-head matchup. I believe the New York Times had that poll late last year, and of course we saw the market rally to record highs, obviously not only possibly for that reason, but also because of what's happening with AI and the Mag 7 and everything else that's been going on, and expectations for the Fed to cut rates and so forth. But what about the economy and all this, Ben Stein, and all a lot riding on this Supreme Court decision and everything else that's going on?
Well, a lot is riding on, as you said, everything else that's going on. It's a kind of terrifying situation that we've moved way, way, way far away from what the framers of the Constitution had in mind when they created the Constitution, and when, after the Civil War, they created the various amendments intended to shut down the possibility of ending more civil wars. The economy is really very, very strong. It's incredibly strong. It's amazing that, considering that we went through a genuine pandemic, a real serious pandemic such as we haven't seen in the U.S. At least since the post-World War I, not post-World War II period. And we've come out on the other side of it, true, with very bad inflation. But basically we've done out of it quite well. I think Mr. Powell, at some point, is going to wake up and find that the American people are singing hosannas of praise him. I can't think of a better Fed chairman there's been really in my lifetime, and I just hope and